All right, so we're gonna have a little sit down. We've all probably sat through one of these by now, but I wanna come at this a little differently. I want you guys to look at this and hopefully see another perspective. And I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Now, I think a lot of people do, but I still think there's a lot of confusion. And we got a lot of comments saying a lot of things, and we've had them for a long time, but I think it's time to actually sit down and understand them and have a little bit of a response to them. Not upset at it. I just think it's time to sit down and talk about it. So what we're going to talk about in this video is obviously what happened at Ironman. I think you guys are going to be very surprised by how I feel, but we'll get into that. The other thing that we're going to talk about is how people keep saying, I used to like watching what you were doing. And we're going to talk about and actually understand and evaluate why things have turned into the way that they have. Now, throughout this video, we're going to stop. We're going to talk about each segment, and I'm going to give you examples of how and why and everything through it. Now, I want you guys to understand, which I think 90% of you guys do, that obviously, if I'm saying anything about this stuff, it's because I think there's a chance to improve on it and be more intelligent as spectators and maybe a little bit more intelligent on another side. Throughout this whole video, we're going to talk about why everything's starting to seem a little negative over here and the fact that it's not always been that way. We're going to touch on what made me decide to absolutely change my life in the sense of I was a little bit off the rails. I wouldn't say I was totally wide open, but at the same time, I took my life from being what it was to what it is now. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. And I need to give congratulations and I need to give respect where it's due. The biggest thing that I want to accomplish here is I just want you guys to understand that when I say something, it's only because it's either video proof or the fact that I think there's such a place to learn. I never do it in a negative intention to hurt or to affect it in that kind of way. And I think we're going to break down some scenarios of where you maybe feel like what I'm doing is all of a sudden trying to hurt the sport instead of fix it. Well, I just don't believe that, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is insurance. A lot of people have this scenario in their head that if you show a video or you do any of this stuff, you're making the insurance go up. I don't have that perspective. The perspective that I see on this is when there are lawsuits, your insurance goes up. This makes sense to me. Maybe it will make sense to you. If you're in a car accident, right? If you're at fault, your insurance probably goes up. But if you're not at fault, your insurance probably stays the same. Now, every year we can assume that your insurance might actually go up. Why? Because it's a new year. Because that happens. Think about your rent. Think about anything. It does increase. If you had footage, say you were at fault for your accident, and there's footage of your accident, and it goes everywhere online. Well, if your accident, your insurance is going to go up because if you were at fault, not because of the footage. It's only because you were at fault. Now, what does the footage show? Let's get into this. What the footage would show is what actually happened. So, whenever there's footage of something and you show what actually happened, I would say the best scenario, there are scenarios where people are wrongly convicted. There are scenarios where people lied and got away with it, and because they had the more money or they had this or they had that, they had these advantages. But in reality, if there was footage of it and you could have just produced the footage, now all of a sudden everything gets more level. For both sides here though, whoever was at fault is just going to get in trouble. It's like if you did something wrong, then you're probably getting hit for it. Or if you were the reason this happened, then at least we know what really happened. My big thing is everyone's like, oh, the footage, the crashing, the this, the that. I don't know where you guys think that just magically makes the insurance go up. I am under the understanding that insurance goes up when there are claims, just like your car insurance, just like your homeowners, just like anything. Your insurance would increase when there's problems, okay? And if there's problems, there should probably be solutions. Some things are more difficult than others. So let's just jump into the one we all know right now. Ironman Gncc. Well, let's see the videos real quick of the girl getting hit by the bike and the banana getting hit by the quad, and then the child getting hit, I'm not sure now. I've heard two different stories of he got hit, and then I got a story where it just missed him and he got roosted a little bit and he got scared. I'm not pushing that. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but that is, I'm just putting that right out in the open because I didn't understand there was a child even involved at first. I totally missed it in the first angle, and then I showed the second angle, and I wanted to just be transparent as shit. I didn't put nothing on it. You could see what happened in the video. Did it need to be bigger than it was? No, I'm just simply saying I was making that video to hopefully get some kind of a response from the parents or something that said, hey, like, just so you know, little Timmy's okay. And I'd be like, just so everyone knows, little Timmy's okay, because that's important to me. And that's really what the second video was about, and especially because I just totally missed it. And honestly, I felt bad that I didn't notice that, but I mean, I watched that video I don't know how many times, and I just didn't notice it. There was obviously a pretty big someone being dumbass in it, so you really were focused over here instead of on little Timmy. Now, let's get into this. How do we fix that? I want to just say this right off the rip. I don't really think MX Sports did anything wrong. Can you believe I'm saying it? I don't think they did anything wrong. So let's just jump into the nature of GNCC racing, the off-road racing. There are people on the side of the track, normally in the cool places. Why? Because you want to see the cool places, and that's obviously where you want to go. You want to see where the action is. So I don't think there's like a scenario where you just don't have the people there, because it even goes into another thing. So now I'm going to go into a little bit tangent. I'd hate to see the spectators not be there, because there's so many times I think actual spectators are an asset. So where I can use that as an example is whenever like everyone's going up the hill climb and whatnot, and there's like, oh, this guy made a mistake here and now he's stuck here. 99% of the time, whenever I was at one of these, someone jumped off the hill and helped this guy, get this guy out of the way. And honestly, if they didn't do that, it would have been a bottleneck and everyone would have got ran over. I think they saved a lot of people. I think the spectators being there is more of an importance than not. Like, I think it's more important to have them there than to not have them there. For this reason, because they're not going to pay somebody to stand there and help them. I'm not coming at MX Sports for that. It's just the reality. They're not going to do that, right? So what we can do, what I'm thinking, because everyone's like, oh, what do you do then? What do you do? The only thing that I put together is if you watch these clips back again, you can see that the girl and the banana get hit right at the top of the hill. So what they're doing is they're crossing literally right whenever the people cross, like where they crest. Now, the only thing in my head that makes sense is you take like a piece of red tape, right? So you stick it at the top of the hill and then you drag it back 25 feet. That way you have 25 feet and then you put another stake. So you have this stake that's in this red tape that's 25 feet. So basically all that would mean is don't cross where the red tape is. Just go around the red tape so you have at least an opportunity to get out of the way. So you can see down the line and be like, okay, there's nobody coming. Because obviously people don't use their ears. But there was a lot more people that crossed that day than that got hit. 99.8% of people that crossed that day didn't get hit. So if there's this thing that you just don't cross and you don't have someone there policing it besides the spectators. You say, hey, like, please let's just be smarter than that. Don't cross where the red tape is. That's literally it. Don't cross for 25 feet before the whatever. Now all of a sudden, I think that whole scenario gets completely evaded if she obviously didn't run right in front of the hill. I think if it was 20 feet away, she would have made it, or 25 or whatever. I don't have the numbers. I'm just saying, this is what I think would be good. I think the spectators not being allowed on the track is crazy. I mean, there's a lot more people out there that ever get hurt. I brought it to attention because it's what happened. It's not like I'm like, oh yeah, I want to screw MX Sports. I don't think they did anything wrong. I want you guys to see that, and I'm not getting paid. I'm just simply saying that, like, there are times that they didn't do anything wrong. Absolutely. They don't always do something wrong. They are obviously doing something right. They have a successful series. It's that simple. Can there be things that are better? Yes, absolutely. But that's in anything. That's in me. That's everyone. You could always be a little better. But that's how I feel about the Ironman situation. If we want to touch on the kid thing, the only thing I could say about the kid thing is people were trying to come at the parents, and I don't believe the parents did anything wrong. If you've ever been to one of these events, you understand how far that guy really did. He didn't go off the track. So the rider didn't do anything wrong either. He didn't go off the track. He could have went anyways. I'm sure there's a hill to the left of that. Like, it's not like he did anything wrong. The girl really caused all that. And if the girl wasn't so ignorant and just would have looked or used their ears or anything, and people were saying that alcohol, I don't know if it was alcohol. I don't think the solution is get rid of the alcohol. I really don't think that either. And then there's like people that, thank God they got rid of the concert because the people that are getting hurt are the partiers. We can't assume that. You know what I mean? So who knows? Maybe that was little Johnny's sister or older sister, whatever. I don't even know who that is. Hopefully she's doing all right now. I mean, but she made a freaking mistake and she won't make it again. But it also brought a lot of awareness to people. Maybe we don't make that mistake because that was crazy. Now, to these people that are like, oh, you're trying to hurt the sport. I'm not trying to hurt the sport with this. I think information is really good. And every time you see a video of someone crashing, no, it doesn't make the insurance rise, from what I understand. I don't believe that. I understand where you're getting the narrative of, oh, we're under attack. I don't believe that is the scenario. Insurance does go up. Whenever there's more accidents, there's obviously a higher chance of it going up. Understand there's a lot of accidents that happen that you guys don't know about. More often than not, there are a few that come to light. Now, what to get from that is the few that do come to light, you should take your time and try to learn from them, because that's what's going to make it safer. Everyone's like, oh, that girl. What about the rider? That rider didn't want to hit her. So like, if there was a way that we could make the rider not have to worry about hitting spectators. I had so many people messaging me saying, oh, I hit one and I tore my MCL, my ACL, I hit a spectator. And it was like, there's that many people hitting spectators? I'm not saying this is all at the GNCC either. They didn't break it down. Maybe it could have been. I don't know. That's not something I'm going to, I'm not going to give that to you and tell you that's a fact, because I don't know that. But whenever I do tell you something, I truly do believe it is true. I'm not feeding you something just to say or just to talk. And like, the new consensus is, oh, you're just doing it for views or you're doing it for this. No, I think I'm in a predicament where I can make things get better. And I feel like a douchebag if I don't do what I can to try to help. So let's jump into the people that say, I liked what you did before and I don't like what you did now, because I think this works nice into that. The reality of where we're at right now, I didn't want to be where we're at right now, because let's just go back for a second. We'll go back to what it was like before. I used to go to the event, show the entire event. Was there some shit that happened? Yes, absolutely. But also within that, you got to see the good. Now all of a sudden I can't go to the events because I'm absolutely banned. So now I don't get to show any of the good. And then what I do show of what I find and what I get sent and all of that, then the people, what they want to talk about or want to see is, I'm going to be straightforward with you. It's kind of normally negative. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, but if we can learn from something, we should learn from it. There are times that you can't fix everything. Yes, absolutely. And shit happens. When someone crashes on a corner, it's not always the corner is the problem. You made a mistake. That happens. Now, if it's something that happens 10 times in one race, okay, there might be a problem there and we might need to evaluate it. I just want to touch on like why we're here. So before I used to show what I did at the events and like, oh, okay, like cool. I'd go hang out with whoever, the pro riders and this, that, and the other thing, and show stuff and be like, oh, having a genuine time as a fan. And that was positive promotion for this sport. Now, was there a little bit of chaos and was there a little bit of partying? Yes. Now, did I make it happen? We're starting to realize that I didn't. I didn't make little Timmy go jump off the bridge. I didn't make this guy run into that girl. I didn't make that girl run across the street without looking. I didn't say, close your eyes and run across the street. But that's how they were portraying it at first. So now we're starting to understand that this shit happens regardless if I'm there or not. The bad stuff that I would normally get because I don't know how I end up getting it, but I'm kind of like in the right spot at the right time. But now it's very clear with all the evidence that I'm not making it happen. It's just happening and we're seeing it. With all of that information, yes, I'm not allowed there anymore, so I'm obviously making different content whenever it comes to this, but it's not by my, like, this isn't what I want to do. I want you guys to truly understand that. If there was a scenario where we could fix this and be like, okay, we both made mistakes, let's get you back in there, and then I get to show the cool side of the event and this and that and whatever, and I will tell you the truth. That's the thing. Like, when they canceled the concert, I didn't tell you guys that they canceled the concert to hurt them. I told you guys because 90% of you guys aren't going to read, hey, on the event information, you guys aren't reading that. It wasn't in an Instagram reel, so you don't know. So what I did is I just made that. It's information. If I went to that event and paid what I normally do and I didn't know the concert was not going to happen, I'd be pissed. I just tried to give you guys information. It wasn't a negative attack. I just tried to make something that I would have wanted to know known. That's it. I mean, it's really that simple. So the people that are like, oh, yeah, you're just trying to, you're pissed that you can't go. I'm bummed out I can't go, absolutely. But I don't have a vendetta. I don't, as much as you think I do. Now, am I stopping what I was doing? No, absolutely not. We're transitioning. We started doing some other stuff. We're getting into the fitness community. We bought a Harley. Like, we're doing different things. Don't get me wrong, because we're going to grow in other directions, because this one's obviously becoming a little tricky, but I have a loud enough voice into this to make some positive out of it. I think a lot of you guys know that if you speak to me at all, I absolutely have the best interest in mind. Like, I'm not doing this just for views. Like, there's a difference. Like, I could do this for views, and I could be this defamation person I'm not doing that. One, because I would be sued so fast because they'd actually have something that I like, but I don't do that. So I'm not worried about that. I just say what happens or show you guys directly what happens. I only give you what is truly there. I don't try to spin it in another way. I just want to make it very clear that is why you're not seeing so much positiveness out of me. But if you speak to me in person or you know who I am, you absolutely know that I just love dirt bikes and I want to be involved somehow. I'm either going to be productive and make things change, because look at the handicap situation we've already experienced, where I started bitching about the handicap situation and the handicap parking started magically appearing. So, and it was because Slowy's bitching, Slowy's making a point, not, oh, we need to actually give handicapped people a thing. It's just because I was bitching and I was making valid points. You got to understand that. Like, if I can't be there and have fun and just contribute that way and show you guys what I wanted to see if I was there, like if you were there and I can't contribute and show you what I would have wanted to seen, motherfucker. If I can't contribute and I can't give you what I would have wanted to see if I was there, if you didn't go, you get to experience it, and then you can be like, shit, I want to go next time because that was super fun. There was a lot of cool things. Well, if I can't do that, I'm going to try to be productive in another way. If you think that I'm being anti-productive, you might be confused a little bit. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. But I absolutely think about things before I do them. We can just jump into, why did I make the lifestyle change that I did? This is not something to be like, oh, he thinks he's better than someone else or whatever now either. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just want you to understand where I came from, what I was doing, and now where I'm at. Like, we'll just go into as simple as possible. I used to go to these events, go for the party and hang out and just have a good time, and which was awesome, right? I know no problems with that. That was fun. And then it started getting pretty serious with this MX Sports thing, because then I had to be worried about being in trouble all the time. So what happens whenever you're worried about being in trouble is you almost have to straighten up a little bit. So it's kind of like whenever you have a parole officer. If you're not allowed to do things, and you have to be on your best behavior, what do? You straighten up. I was allowed to drink. I was allowed to smoke. Didn't want to get caught with my pants down. and be in a bad situation, because obviously if I drink, I want to excessively drink maybe. So I didn't want to be in a situation where something happened and then I had to try to make the best of it. Meanwhile, I'm not in my best clear mind. And I could only see that being the situation that would happen, because why wouldn't that happen? I thought to myself, they're going to try to get me when I'm being less aware. So I was like, you know what? Check this out. I'm going to be totally aware. At the beginning, I just slowed down. So whenever I went to the events, I didn't say anything either. I was quick with this. So I slowed down drinking, slowed down smoking, and I just started rolling. That was the first step. But I had to be quiet about it because I didn't want anyone to realize that I was figuring that out, because I wanted them to think that I was going to be, unprepared, which was not the case. I was completely prepared. So I didn't want to announce it. So I started slowing down on stuff. I'd drink here and there. If I'd go out to a bar, I'd drink a little bit and have fun. But at the same time, when I was at these events, I was completely clean and clear. Now, that started something though. So then I got in trouble. Loretta's, we've all talked about this before. If you haven't seen the video, you need to go here to understand why I'm banned and stuff like that. So when that happened, I was already pretty clean and clear down there too. That's why whenever they tried to say I was the party maniac and stuff like that, I couldn't do anything besides laugh, because I literally stopped doing it. Like that whole year. And they're trying to say I promote the partying and stuff. I don't promote the partying. I get a little bit of it because I like watching it. I'm like the normal fan. I want to watch it. I don't want to be a part of it sometimes, because honestly, they're going to get in trouble. And if I get in trouble, now I look like the bad guy, because I could have been barely in trouble, but it would have made me look worse because they already have that perspective of me. So I just eliminated that, chilled out. Then I get in trouble there. And I'm like, okay, now I have all this time where I don't have to travel. So let's be real. I realized that I was going to develop a habit, because I had more time on my hands than I had before. Obviously working as hard as I can on these YouTube videos and trying to be productive, but at the same time, I knew that I needed something to fill the time. So what I did is I started going to the gym very heavily, and I stopped everything. I went sober. No drinking, no smoking, done. Just completely done. And I contribute this whole thing into MX Sports. So I do appreciate them for this. They literally took me from being where I was, which nothing was wrong per se with where I was with the drinking or whatever, but mentally I was very off. I wasn't there. I was a nice person. I wasn't doing anything bad. I wasn't happy. I was in a very rough position. I didn't even realize it until I got where I am now. And now I am fortunate as hell. I'm 10 times better in mind-wise and everything. I believe I am smarter. I believe I am healthier. I believe that I just have a completely new look on everything. I've never been like a really Debbie Downer by any means, but I actually feel so good that I don't even know how to explain it. So, and if there's one person to contribute to that, it's MX Sports. You guys literally changed my life for the better. It's true. You guys made me make the changes that I needed to make. And I honestly, thank you. I appreciate it. You have no idea what you did for me. Now, you made my life a lot harder and sadder at first whenever I couldn't go to the events. And I still get to go to Dirtbike events, thank God, but just not the, those ones. So understand you did both to me, and that's okay. I really think I took the positive out of it, and honestly, we're here to still try to make positive. So I just want to take a quick second, and I told you guys I wanted to clear some things up, and I do appreciate that. Thank you, Tim and Davey, and yeah, thank you. So we can go into these comments a little bit. We covered a lot of them with, you're hurting the sport by sharing these videos, and it's only me though. Like anyone else shares the videos, they're not intentionally hurting the sport or anything like that. It's just me, and I get it. I got a whole narrative or perspective around me, and that's fine. I get it. Hoping to clear some of that up personally, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. There was someone that said, oh, this is probably Davey and Tim's fault too, and I just wanted to clearly say that I don't think that Ironman thing was Davey or Tim's fault. I don't think they did anything wrong. The spectator was an absolute ignorant person, did not pay attention at all. So I just wanted to clear that up, some of that stuff, because I feel like it's really important to me. But now to end this video off, let's talk about some positives. So one of the coolest things that happened at Ironman Gncc was Logan Renninger. He rides for Red Bear Kawasaki, Stu's team, and he's a savage. I'm getting information, since I wasn't there, I'm getting information that he was the only one to jump this jump. And not only did he do it once, he did it twice. And I guess he was leading B and then crashed his brains out. But his one buddy said, hey man, I didn't get the jump. So he actually went back out and jumped the jump again. This kid rips. He's a good kid, and apparently he's looking for a ride next year. Yeah, I don't know. I think what a solid guy. He's a good kid, and he's a trier. You don't be the only person to do something and not rip. There's a reason he's on that team. Some of the other positives. Let's think of some stuff. Oh, shit. I was trying to be positive, but there is one more thing that happened. All right, for the final thing here, we have a little mistake. I thought we were going to be positive, but I guess I was wrong. I want to say positive things. I just don't know a lot of them. I wish I was getting more information. You know what? Here's a positive thing. The guy that hit that girl, that was the first time he won a pro big bike class, like the 450 class. So that was cool. I think his name's Matt. He's from Indiana or Michigan. But yeah, so that's cool. The guy that did hit the girl, luckily the bike wasn't messed up and he made it the whole way through. So congratulations on that. That's super cool to hear. Now, let's get into the last thing right here. Another issue at the GNCC is the micro live timing. The micro bikes and four-wheelers never get any sort of live timing during Ironman due to other races going on. It's maybe not a big deal to everyone, but there was 167 racers on the micro course, and whenever you have two parents all standing at a screen where they're doing handwritten timing and scoring, then projecting them on a screen, for them, they're pretty good because they understand how to keep track of their own kids on the course. It's just another thing. Like, they pay all this money, and I guess it wasn't fixed till 12 hours after the race. You have to deal with all these weird problems. I mean, things happen. Now, hopefully one day, someday, we'll get to a situation where I don't have to sit here and tell you all the bad shit, or maybe I can get some good information. That'd be good. I want to show good things. I want to promote this sport that we all love, and I want to do it in the right way. Very difficult to do it whenever we're not allowed to go to the events. Something to think about. I don't have a vendetta. I have to say that one more time. I really don't. If I had a vendetta, I'd be going at a lot more things, and I'd be making a lot less sense. There are situations where they absolutely are doing the right thing. It's true. It's not painful to say. There are also mistakes. It happens. Because when you're running that many things at once, things happen. But if there's anything I want to end this on, take care of yourself. Don't let things get you down. The thing is everyone gets handed shit hands. You just have to do the best with the shit hands you get and wait for a good one. And that's the only advice I have for you right now. Just push through, react accordingly, be intelligent, think ahead. If you get a shitty hand, deal with it the best you can, because that's where you're going to make a difference. Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully we can make a cool video after this. And if you guys haven't seen any of the other videos that we've been making, since we're allowed to go to other stuff with the Harleys and all the cool shit that we've been doing and the fitness, if you're trying to experience something a little different or get your health on track, we have all of that stuff. Thank you guys for sitting down with me. Hopefully you guys have a good experience with this. The plan was to hopefully get you guys to understand I'm not trying to do the wrong thing. And if you ever see me and you have a problem, feel free to say it. I'm here to learn. And maybe what you're saying makes sense. Maybe I'm missing it. I'm totally here to learn. And that's not like some other people. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.
You got something to say to everybody but me. I heard you thinking you're brave. I promise we're gonna see.